Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to show you some modifications to my Stanley Camp Cook Set and the Ozark Trail Walmart little $5 cup. Alright, thanks for joining me today. If you guys remember a while back, I had this set up as kind of a little cook set for my stove that I made here. And this is nothing more than a silverware strainer with some bolts in the bottom to make it level. And to use it, you just stick these in through here like that. And you stick your cook set on top. Anyway, the video today really isn't about this guy as much as it is these guys here. One of the things I wanted to do is make it a little more efficient for me to use and to modify the cook set a little bit too. My first complaint has always been that these cheap cups don't have any graduation markings on them for 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cup, whatever. So we're going to modify this cup today to make some little marks on it so we know from the inside and outside how many cups are in it, because sometimes you're using this and you don't want to have to dump whatever you're out in here to use these graduation marks. So we're just going to put some basic cup markings on this one. We're also going to modify the Stanley Cook Set here a little bit because two things. Number one, this thing, now I used this a couple of times already, as you can tell, but this guy always melts off. The little lid piece there always just seems to melt or get nasty. So we're going to take that off and replace it. And I'm also going to set this up so it can be hung over a fire if you're using a tripod instead of just by the handle. So we're going to start off with the cup. I'll get it set up and we'll come right back. Alright, this was an awesome idea. I forget who I saw do this, but I've been wanting to put markings on this for a while. And you'll notice there's a piece of tape on here. So what you do with this tape is the first thing you do is mark the top off, alright? And again, this is not, exact science here. If you get, 1.2 cup, when you finish your markings on there, at least you're in the ballpark of a cup, 2 cups, 3 cups. So you're going to mark the top there. So you want to remember, you want to reference where that top is. Now your next step is going to be to get a thing here and fill it up, measuring cup, and fill it up to 1 cup and then draw a line. 2 cups, draw a line. So we're going to make those lines in there, then we're going to reverse it and put the little indentations on the cup. And I'll show you how I do that. First I'm going to make the lines with the water, and I'll be back once we've done that. Alright, so I've made my marks inside, and some of the other little scuff marks you can see there from the ink floating around on the water when I did it. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch this over and reverse it. And I'm going to put it a little to the right of where I want my marks to be, because I want them to be kind of on the side of the cup. So I'm going to try and get that right on the top there. Yeah, there you go. That's a little over. And if you don't have this kind of tape, painter's tape works really well too. There. So that's fairly accurate. Again, if I'm slightly over or under, it's not the end of the world. I tend to do a little bit under because I find most Mountain House stuff, when you cook it, if you use the exact amount, it's always too much water. So what we're going to do is extend this line over. Whoops, kind of went down there. To there. And there. So now I have my 2 lines on there. So after this, we don't really even need to worry about the tape anymore. We're going to take the tape off because I've got my 2 little lines for 1 and 2 cups. And again, too, if you need like 1.5 cups, you can measure that 2.5 cups. You just only go up to here. So my next step you have to be a little careful with, because you don't want to damage this. So what I'm going to do, let's move this stuff out of the way here. Kind of stick this in here for protection. Again, we're going to just make little dents. We're not going to make huge holes in that. You don't want to do anything that's going to be a hole. So I've got a little punch that's kind of got a little bit of a pointed end to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it right on there. Let's see. And just give it a little tap along that line. And once I'm done with that, I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like. All right, we got them done. Looks a little rough from the outside, but you can see the little dents in there. Not too bad, you know, I just tapped it along. And the top I did with another punch that made like a little crease in it. So, let's see what we look like from the inside. It's really hard to catch on camera. There you go. You can kind of see the two dents. See? There's, wait a minute. There you go. Okay, there's one. That's 2 cups. And that's 1 cup. So it's not really super, you know, obnoxious on the inside. But let's measure it out and see. See how accurate I was. And again, too, if you do this and you get like just under a cup, it's not the end of the world. You know, it's not going to kill you. Yeah, that's right on the money. Those little 3 punch holes that I made, that's right on the money at 1 cup. So you've got a little bit of a measurement on this cup. Other than that, this cup is awesome. I have no complaints about it. It's probably the best $4 to $5 you'll ever spend in survival. I mean, it's heavier than the titanium cup, of course. But hey, you can't beat it. And you got your little marks on there now. So now you know 1 and 2 cups. Let's say a recipe calls for 1.5. You know to put it up in the middle. You know, there's your 1 cup and a half. Really simple. And I do that mainly for the Mountain House entrees. Because a lot of times they will have that there. And that way, you know exactly what you're doing. So let's move on to the Stanley cook set. Now the first thing I did with this, okay, before I did any other things, I'm going to want to be able to hang this over a tripod. So of course I'm going to drill holes and do a wire, and we'll do that in a bit. But I want to take this off because it'll make it kind of side heavy. So I still want to be able to use it, but I want to be able to take it off. When I got this, these little wires sticking out on either side here were very, very long. So I took a Dremel and just cut a tiny little bit off. I mean like a sliver off. So now, if I want to, pull that out, and it can be taken off there and hung over a fire, but it still remains its functionality. Now watch me struggle to put this back on because I'm on camera. Wow, that actually went on real easy. Okay, still remains, get up there, still remains functional. And works perfectly. It's not going to, you know, nothing's going to fall out. It's not any looser than it was. I just wanted to take a little bit off each side of those because they were really, really long. And when you went to squeeze it in, it wasn't coming out this side. This side would come out, but then this side was way, way, way out here. So that's the first modification I did. And I did that when I bought the thing, you know, ages ago. Next thing we're going to do, and here's a neat little tip, by the way. This cheapy little cup, if you buy this, this fits right on top of it. So you have yourself a little cover for your smaller pot too. First thing we're going to do is, of course, empty it out. Get the green cups out of there. Some people decide to keep these, some don't. For now, I have these in here. I find they're really handy. Something you can do if you want to just have like a single burner of propane. Toss that in there. Put your propane burner, your fire kit, whatever in here, and cover it up. You know, if you're just solo camping, you don't need the second cup. But for now, I have both cups in there. All right. So the first thing we're going to do with this is the lid. I'm going to get rid of this plastic, and I'm going to put a rather sturdy keychain ring on there. So I'm going to take this plastic off, and I'll bring you back once that's out of there. Okay, and actually that was a whole lot easier. I thought that was going to be a bit of a struggle and didn't want to bore people with it. It comes right out. Now, one thing I want to tell you when you're doing this, and I've done it to my other one, so you got to be careful about it, is when you're twisting this, this is very, very thin metal. You don't want to bend it or snap it off. It's just tacked on there really, really thin. So you don't want to snap it off or bend the heck out of it. Now, the next thing you do is just like any other keychain, you're just going to open this up. And of course, I have no nails today. Just cut my nails. So this is going to be a bit of a fun adventure. Let me get a little screwdriver. There. Just trimmed my nails the other day. All right. Now, will this get hot? Yeah, it'll probably get hot. You know, and it won't stand up like the other one, but it also won't melt off. So you should really have a protective pair of gloves with you when you're out, you know, cooking around open fire anyway. But even if you were just to, you know, grab some paper towel and pick it up. So you don't have to worry about that little piece melting off. You're all set there with that. Now the next modification involves some drilling. Don't worry, you're not going to ruin your cup, okay? I really, really doubt you're ever going to fill your cup up to that high, and that's where we're going to be putting the 2 holes. And then I'll show you how we make the little thing that's going to go over the top. So let me get my drill together, and we will mark those off and drill them out. All right, so I've marked it off, and I just kind of eyeballed it. Put my little dot there and looked across. Actually, I did it this side. Put my little dot here, looked across, made a mark on the lip, about where it is, you know, and put it over there. I want it to be as fairly centered as possible because you don't want it to be hanging one way or the other. You want it to be fairly straight. So, you'll take a 1/8 inch drill bit, and we're going to carefully, I'm going to take this off too because this thing wants to slide, make it slide to one side. You take a 1/8 inch drill bit, and just kind of place it right there. Make sure it doesn't walk. Go slow to get it started. And just drill. And I'll bring you back when we got 2 holes there because it might take a little while to drill through here in the angle I'm at. So, bring you back in a sec. All right, we got 2 nice clean holes through it. Right up top there. And on the other side, I kind of cleaned them up with just the edge of a screwdriver. They're not really all that rough. So your next step is going to be to get a wire hanger, and I videotaped me cutting this, and then I deleted the video by mistake. But it's simple enough. You just cut the bottom piece out of a wire hanger, you know. You're just going to take the bottom edge out of there. And I measured it out, so I got 6 inches on each side, and I made a little black mark here. And those are going to be my areas where I bend. So I'm going to place that there and just bend down. Okay. Place that there. And don't worry if you get it uneven, you know, like if this side's high and that side's low. You can always fix that later. Your biggest goal here is to get it about the diameter of the cup. And that's almost perfect. Damn, I impressed myself. All right, so next step is going to be to bend these little edges in. And if you notice, even though I measured it, I think I got one side a little longer than the other. So I'm going to just even it up. That's close enough. All right, so I'm going to bend in the edges one more time. Probably just cover it, you know, just enough to cover it in my little pliers there. One thing about this, using this kind of stuff, is it's very forgiving. If you screw it up, not much you can't do to fix it. So, we'll do again the same on this side. Okay, just cover it up in my pliers, so that's about how much I have. A little bit more than that. All right. And bend. And that's about even. Let's stick it in the holes. I don't know how these holes are going to... Yep, they're perfect. All right. And there you go. So you can hang this now over a fire if you're using a wood tripod, or if you already have an existing tripod that you want to use. And I'm going to trim up these edges a little bit because they're a little long, but not horribly long. So that came out pretty good for just doing it kind of by my by the seat of my pants there. And this is easy enough to pack in a kit. You know, it's small, it's not a big item. Let's just trim up these pieces a little bit. Get off that little edge. Because I really just want it to stick in there and not stick out. Okay, that's better. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's better. a little bit shorter on the inside of the pot. And the cool part about this is because it's on the outside, you can still keep the pot covered. So you can hang it over a fire. You can lift it a little easier too, even using this. Now, yes, this might get hot, okay? Even if you're resting it out here, that's going to get hot. But the nice part is you can just take, again, a rag, a paper towel, gloves, whatever, lift it up out of the fire, and you're good without having to use some kind of pot holder or lifting it up that way. So, all in all, those are the modifications I've made. Drilled the holes, made the little pot stand. Doesn't have to, the little hook doesn't have to stay there now. That comes off. You can take that out whenever you want. No big deal. You can remove it, and it's easy enough to, if you wanted to, even squeeze it and fit it right in there. But as far as the whole kit goes, let me show you what the whole kit looks like. All together again. Stick this back in here. This back up top. Oh, I forgot the cups. Because we are keeping the cups for now. And even with that not fully flush, see how that kind of holds it up? That's still not going out anywhere. So don't worry if your key ring is not letting that go all the way flush down. Okay, my cup with my little 1 and 2 cup markers on it sits in there. That goes in there. That goes in the side. And there you go. You got your portable cook kit. If you're using this this particular type of stove. If not, it's still fairly compact. It really hasn't added to the volume or size of anything. You know, you can just fit that right along the sides like that. Doesn't want to stay on there. But there's a way you can get that to fit pretty easily. And you've got yourself a nice modified cook kit. You can even stick this in your backpack. You know, this isn't something that you're going to worry about getting bent, because if it gets bent, you can always rebend it back. Like I said, it's very forgiving. So anyway, those are my modifications. And don't forget, I'm going to put a link in the description. This Stanley cook kit right here, as of today, from the link that I'm going to give you, is $9.19. I don't know how long it's going to stay at that price. Normally they're anywhere from $14 to $20. In Walmart, they're around $14-15. That's an incredible price. If you're watching this video 6 months from now, don't complain that it's back to $20. You know, this is just for now. This has nothing to do with me. I just found this morning and I was like, wow, great deal. So anyway, thank you for watching. And thank you for taking the time to join me today, do a little modifications to our gear. It is one of the ways that we can kind of save some money and make our gear work a little bit better for us. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Don't forget to check the rest of the Amazon links below. I have my Amazon store down there. And don't forget to check Thrive Life links if you want to stock up on some really high quality freeze-dried food. We eat the stuff regularly as well as store it, so it's good. Definitely good for you. And we will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.